Hello, teacher friends! Welcome to another outstanding episode of the Teacher Vlog. My name is Monica Genta, and I am pumped to be bringing you an episode that is all about integrating the arts into every single classroom. That's why I have invited my friend Jed Dearybury to this episode. And he is super passionate about incorporating music and art and drama and all of these essential classes that need to be a part of every classroom. Whether you teach math or you teach history, whether you're at the middle school level or the elementary level, this episode is for you. And I'm just gonna let you know early, there's a lot of singing in this episode. Yes, I may or may not freestyle rap. He may or may not start singing parodies of songs like B-I-N-G-O. Oh yeah, you are gonna wanna see this. And trust me, at the end of the episode, I'm gonna share with you a link where you can find a ton of incredible parody songs that you can use in your classroom with your students to get them excited about learning with music. But for now, let's get rolling on this episode with Jed Dearybury. Okay, friends, I am here with Jed. I love his last name. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it on camera. Dearybury, like a cow and the fruit, which is amazing. It just screams, hi, I'm an elementary school teacher. So, Mr. Dearybury, thanks for being with us.
Welcome. I'm so glad to be with you. Glad to meet you virtually. We've been following each other on Instagram for a while, so it's good to talk kind of face to face. I look forward to seeing you at the Teacher Heart Out Cruise.
I know. Oh my gosh, we are going to teach our hearts out while we eat our hearts out. It's going to be an amazing cruise. So
I can't wait. Wait.
Going to hang out with us today because you are you've been in education for about 17 years, but those first few years were actually in a classroom where you kind of developed this passion and it just felt right in terms of like arts. And so art integration, music, drama, and at one point earlier before we started the recording, you even brought a full piano into your classroom. So how can teachers who are looking for ways to integrate arts, what can they do to make this like a really profound element in their classroom?
Well, the first thing I want to tell everybody is you have to overlook your fears. I know that teachers are so afraid of that because they may not be trained in the arts. But when you get over your fear of those things, and you just try it, it's amazing how quickly you will start to blossom. As I shared with you before we started, I was not officially trained as an arts teacher my first few years. I went through a very basic program. I got the basics of education, just like many of our teachers get. And then teaching is one of those learn on the field jobs.
Yeah.
You let go. And I just felt the arts were just right for students because they felt so right for me as a learner. So I brought that in there, and all of my students just loved it. Like I said, I told you teachers need to get over their fears. Two quick tips that I would give teachers who want to integrate the arts in their classroom. Number one, just talk with the teachers in their building who teach the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your music teacher. Talk to your art teacher. If there's a computer graphics person or a computer lab, that digital arts are a big thing right now. It's often overlooked, but talk to those people who you consider the experts first,
mm-hmm.
and just get an idea of where you're going. And number two, don't make art the end of the process. Weave it into the process.
Mm-hmm.
For example, earlier I was singing a little song for you.
Yes.
We were learning in first grade. This was years ago. We were learning what a seed needs to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in our South Carolina state standards, at the time, the standards said that it needs light, water, air, soil, and space.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that as a class, and as we were saying it, we kind of felt a rhythm to it, right? There was a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing I know, my class and I were gathered around the piano, and we were writing this song. It was to the tune of Bingo. I love to write parodies to songs that kids already know. Don't try to write your own song.
Yeah.
Somebody's already done it for you. Use their tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the tune was Bingo. So it goes, there was a seed down in the ground. How will it grow? And then we'd say, water, light, air, soul, space. Water, light, air, soul, space. Water, light, air, soul, space. That's what it needs to grow. And we would sing that.
Yes.
We would sing that. That was the very first parody I ever wrote. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote so many more after that. And anyway, what's cool about that parody is this really super smart kid I had. His name's Zylan Smith. He is actually in college now.
Cool.
He's a friend of mine on all social media, so I hope he sees this. But he was reading this book about plants, and right in the middle of his book, he jumps up and he says, "Hey, Mr. D, we need to add an ending to your song." And I was like, "What do we need to add?" He said, "You forgot bees." I said, "What about them?" He said, "Seeds and plants need bees to grow." And so at the end of the song, we would always say, "And bees." And it was all because of Xylem. We would add that. But what another thing too that I want to tell teachers is just give kids a little push, and they'll take you further than you even know that you can go.
Yeah.
I'd say you have to give students time, space, and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give your students time, space, and opportunity to explore the arts and just let go of those fears, it's amazing what they'll do.
Yes. I love it. I totally dig that song. And as you're going through it, it's like it's clearly ingrained in your brain because you've done it a million times in your classroom.
Well, I will tell you, Monica, before today, I haven't sang that song in, I don't know, probably I haven't taught first grade in probably 10 years. So
But it just came back to you.
It's still in there.
Isn't that incredible?
Music and the arts make the learning stick.
Yes.
I can still remember when I was a student, the lessons that stuck with me the most were the ones where there was an art as part of the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so powerful for kids. They will remember, they connect with it. Art is it gives the student ownership of the learning in a different way than a worksheet or copying definitions at the end of a book or watching a PowerPoint. It just and so now in my job I do professional development primarily here in South Carolina, but all over the country I do. And so every professional development that I do, there's some kind of make and do during the middle of the presentation. I love to have teachers create tape art murals on the walls.
Yes, I've seen those.
I love for them to sculpt with aluminum foil. I just sold myself out right there. I said aluminum foil. Where I'm from, we don't call it aluminum foil. We say tin foil.
Okay. And not foil. Tin foil.
I was trying tin foil. Yeah. I was trying to be proper because I know you're recording, but I can't sell myself out. That's who I am. It's tin foil.
Tin foil. Good to know. Well, I think that you're bringing up so many good points because it's about that art integration. One, because that's really important, and so many schools are getting rid of those essential classes. We call those essentials. Those are essential skills that they need. The art, the music, the drama, those are so important. So not only is integrating it really important because schools are getting away from it, but maybe even more importantly, it's because it makes it so much more memorable. Your bingo song was adorable. So I teach middle school, and that wouldn't really work with my kids. But what I noticed is if I start rapping in class, that's another story. And just a couple of weeks ago, I ran into a kid at Walmart, and they were like, "Miss G, do you remember your bird song?" And I'm like, "Please." And I literally rapped out a song about birds in the middle of Walmart. I was like dropping beats, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that just happened." But I think...
next time you do that, you need to be live on Instagram.
I'm going live. Excuse me. I'm about to drop a beat. I'm going live on the Facebook and on the Instagram, and I'll just be like, doves, blue jays, and sparrows, and don't forget those flamingos, parakeets, and cockatoos, ducks and swans, and snow geese too. Eagles, falcons, they're flying way up in the air. There are birds that cannot fly. Ask Miss G, she'll tell you why. What?
Yes, I love it. I love it. Hey, let me say something else right here too that I always tell teachers,
Yeah.
because some teachers tell me, "Oh, well, I'm not musically inclined." That may be fine. It's true. Not
Yeah.
everybody is inclined. Not everybody could drop beats about birds like you just did.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the age of technology that we live in, you can find a karaoke version of every song on the planet
Yes.
right on YouTube right now. When I was in the classroom, in my second grade classroom, I needed my kids to learn the seven continents,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted a song about them. Well, I looked all over the place, and I found lots of songs, but none of them just weren't right,
Yeah.
because the continents it was weird the way they had to cram the continent names in there. So
Mm-hmm.
I came up with my own to the tune of "It's a Small World."
Yeah.
But at the time, I just could not figure out how to play "It's a Small World" on the piano. I was just frustrated, and I wanted them to learn it like the next day. So I looked up on YouTube and found this this calypso version of "It's a Small World."
Yeah.
We formed a conga line and we sang that
Yes.
all around the room. There's seven continents. It's a small world. It says there are seven continents. So you
Yeah.
repeat that. There are seven continents. There are seven continents. I can name them all. And then you go, there is North and South America. And there's Europe, Asia, and Africa. Australia is one too. Antarctica. And you're through. Ask your friends to sing with you. Okay.
Yes.
Did you love it? And then when we
Love
sing,
it.
oh, it was so good. I love, love, love bringing music into the classroom. And
Yes.
there's no reason we shouldn't, because it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you know what? Music makes the learning stick. It really
That's
does.
right. That's right. All right. I think in order to summarize this episode, I will close with this statement. Every teacher can be an arts teacher. Boom! Yes! Guys, if you liked some of the songs that you were hearing in there, there's plenty more where that came from. One of my most favorite songs that I have ever created to help students learn is something that I call Science, Science, Baby. This is a parody off of the classic Vanilla Ice, 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 Baby. It is all about teaching students about important scientists and their contributions to the scientific world. Let me just throw out a couple. Fosse studied the animal gorilla. People didn't like her. They were meaner than Godzilla. What? Or maybe Carver studied crops and where they should lay. Famous for the peanut. PBJ. Oh my God. Plenty more where that came from. Guys, if you want to learn more about those songs or about Jed, make sure you guys are checking out the episode notes below for direct access to all of the good stuff. Like, share, subscribe, check out past episodes of the teacher vlog, because every week this is coming to you with 2 quick tips on how you can crush it in the classroom. Guys, if you don't get anything else done this week, I want you to remember one really important thing. Hey, you got this.